Hello, everybody. We are live. This is our community open call, the June session. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here today. This, as if you are new here, the community open call is a fun and friendly talk that we can have among Rocketeers, among our community, and it's a pleasure to have you here. Today we have with us Gabriel Angel, our CEO. Hello, Gabriel.
Hello, how
Uh,
are you guys?
We also have our Chief of Opportunities Officer, Mr. Singley. How are you, Sing?
Pretty good, thank you. Hi, everybody.
That that's great. And also our VP of Product, Mr. Christopher Skelly. Hello, Christopher.
Hey, dude. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, that's so we have also with us moderating the chat, Floris Van Giel. He's going to be with us in a little bit. Also, it's me, Duda Nogueira, community manager here, hosting this call. It's a pleasure to have you here. If you're watching this live now, you should have a tab for chatting, so you can talk there. Also, if you want to ask some questions, please, you have also the tab for questions. Try not sending the questions on the chat. If you send on the questions, it's better that we can have. Then we can vote for the questions. Um, so also we would like to have a highlight from the last episode. If you are not able to see that, we have all the episodes from the our call on YouTube. On last episode, we talked about monorepo. So if you're not aware, we are moving all the projects into a single repository. So it's very interesting. We had Guilherme Gazo talking about that. That was very nice. And also, we have a very good talk with Daisha Taylor about safe spaces and how to build a community. She's a music producer on the music industry, entertainment industry. It was a very nice talk. A very nice way to see how we can use Rocket.Chat in another kind of industries, and that was very nice. So if you plan, please, so you have the YouTube link there. It was very nice. So now, so feel free to use the tab here to send the message to talk with us. So send questions. This is very interesting times. We are going to have some new events, some upcoming events. So we have on June 23rd, we're going to have the Secure and Compliant Collaboration for Financial Services. We are going to have a very cool demo that with our young Hindi, one of our Rocketeers, that we're going to show how we can use Rocket.Chat on the finance industry with leveraging bot. You're using a bot press, for example. That's very interesting. So stay tuned, subscribe yourself, register yourself, and be a part of that. Also, we are going to have another event. So if you are on the Amsterdam area, stay tuned in June 16 and June 17 in Amsterdam. So you have the link there. It's going to be awesome. We are having, if you're on the beautiful Amsterdam, go there to check out our booth there. We're going to have Floris there. So go there to have a coffee to talk about Rocket.Chat. And also, we are going to have some quick notes now. We are having also we're please join Rocket.Chat. We have some openings, and for that we're going to call Natalia Villain to talk about uh, some openings. Hello, Natalia. How are you today?
Hello, I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, fine.
Perfect. So, hi everyone. I am Natalia. I'm from the talent acquisition team at Rocket Chat. This is a quick reminder just to let you all know that we have a lot of openings. So, if you're interested or if you know someone that is interested in joining Rocket Chat, feel free to apply. You can check out our opening on the link that Floris is sending. So feel free to apply. Our openings are 100% remote. We have people in more than 30 countries. So it will be a pleasure to meet you all. Yeah, thank you very much.
That's good. Thank you, Natalia. If you want to know, have a quick sneak peek about what is working at Rocket.Chat, our handbook is on GitHub. Our handbook is also on the links. So if you want to have, you can have all the informations there. It's a pretty amazing experience. It's a pretty amazing company. So please take a look there and see if one of the openings is about you, is your call, and feel free to participate in that and to apply yourself. Okay, so another thing is that so this is our handbook. Thank you, Flores. So please,
Very active Flores today.
Yeah.
Loving it.
He's on fire. Okay, so also we are calling for beta testers. So the idea of the beta testers, we have a channel there. So if you are using Rocket.Chat and if you want to be on the edge of the new versions on the release candidate, so please join this channel. So it's like a direct channel to talk with us. So whenever we have a new release, we are going to have the notifications there. We're going to talk about there. And then if you are the guys that like testing, like a new version, and you're just installing and making some tests and everything, help us there. Also, if you can help us on our open server and also on our forums and GitHub, all the helps are very wanted and very appreciated. Thank you for everybody that's already helping there. We have a lot of community users that comes and ask questions and technical questions, and some, can I do this, can I do that? So it's very interesting to have everybody trying to answer those questions, and thank you if you're doing that. Also, we have our YouTube channel that not only the open call sessions are there, but a lot of other videos that we produce. So take a look on our YouTube channels, and don't forget to subscribe and also to like the videos. That's it. Okay, so these are the quick notes, and now we have Gabriel. On today's session is we're going to have our front end team talking about the UI that we use, that's Fuselage, and how you can leverage Fuselage and for developing your own applications and have all the components and use develop your apps and use those components. That's a very nice thing, and we are going to have our team in a little bit. So now, Gabriel, please, your speech, please, your talks.
Yeah, not as much as not much of a speech. It was like mainly like saying, like, thanks everybody that's joining us live or watching this later. This is such an important way for us to start, like, keep this communication engagement of the community, and also to do some announcements. I think thanks Duda had some a lot of short but important topics to talk about, right? I think the major announcement that we can do this week, this month on this, we have the version 5.0 coming along. As every major release, it's like for good reasons. There are very important features that we are shipping. There are functionality and our initial compatibility with the Matrix protocol. There are I don't want to get into the list before the product team can talk about, but it's a major release coming for a major reason, right? Because we do have some important things coming along, upgrades and updates into the messaging components and templates, finishing a lot of our refactorings that we've been working on into React. So it's a very important upgrade. We always encourage everybody to do it. We are making sure to stress testing and doing a lot of the make sure it's going to be a stable version with all those improvements. But let's get on into it, guys. Thanks for being with us. Important things ahead. And who should I pass the mic to?
Okay, so now we have Christopher Skelly with some product updates.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Sounds good. I will be uncharacteristically brief today because I know we have a bunch of other items. As Gabriel said, we do have our 5.0 release coming out, and there's a lot of stuff in there. I want to highlight kind of 4 things to be aware of. So with this release, we do have a very significant update to our video conferencing capabilities. A couple things to note. There are capabilities for community. There are capabilities for the enterprise as well. One of the key shifts here ties back to a topic that we covered in in last month's community session. With the ongoing development and expansion of Apps Engine, that's created a lot of opportunities for us to take core code and begin to move code out to encapsulated apps. So you'll see with the new release that that's what we've done with video conferencing. So as a reminder, we're taking a provider agnostic approach, meaning that we will support a variety of video conferencing providers. With the 5.0 release, we are leaning in the direction of on-prem video conferencing solutions. That's where we get a lot of requests, a lot of volume of interest. So to be clear on what we're doing, the existing relatively rudimentary video conferencing capabilities will be replaced. There'll be apps for each of the providers that we're launching. And each app, when it's installed, will provide a lean set of community capabilities and then a broader set of enterprise capabilities. So that's coming with release 5. Second, really important, VoIP. As people probably know, the voice over IP functionality currently is under beta release. That beta tag, I'm glad to report, will be coming off. And that reflects a lot of work that's been done by the team to ensure call and connection stability. That's the biggest part of it, is making sure that the VoIP capabilities that organizations are using are highly dependable. We feel really good about that. We will also be introducing VoIP enterprise capabilities. So what you'll be seeing again is no more beta tag on VoIP, and a variety of new enterprise capabilities being launched to support things like outgoing calls and a variety of other features also. Okay. Third, Matrix Federation is moving forward to our V1. We're really excited about this. There will be, again, without going through the laundry list, will be capabilities for community. There'll be capabilities for enterprise. Very big step for us. So we're excited to be moving that forward. Now, the fourth item is more of a general item that I wanted to highlight for everyone. As I mentioned on the last few calls, we have been significantly increasing our allocation of time to overall core code quality, dependability, architecture. We're at one of those points where we have a number of things that need to be addressed. I'm really happy to report that we've seen a lot of significant benefits coming out of that overall effort. Gabriel touched on one, which is the refactoring of our core message components to convert those over to React. That's an example of one of many. So for those of you who don't, please check out our release notes and start making a habit of doing that. What you'll see in there is there are a lot of items that we don't necessarily highlight on these calls, but are really important in terms of improving our architecture, improving dependability, improving core quality, and also some capabilities as well. So definitely take a look at our release notes, dig into them. They'll be fairly extensive for release 5.0, obviously. So now more than ever is a good time to get into that habit. So those are a few of the highlights. And due to, like I said, I wanted to keep it relatively short. So hopefully I've stuck to that.
That's very good. So you heard. Stay tuned for the 5.0 release. It's do we have a time frame for that? Is that?
Yeah, and with a larger release like this, the core thing is ensuring that we have the right timing for getting everything properly into the release candidate and the right time for review from beta testers, from our QA team, et cetera. So we're probably going to be a few days later than our normal cycle. But again, the key thing and what we've been doing is if we have the lockdown of our candidate move around a little bit, we don't have that reduce the window of time for review by beta testers, QA teams, engineers, et cetera. We simply moved the launch date back a few days. So it will be in early July.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to help testing on that, join the beta testers.
Yep.
So or also on the dev channel. So those features they come as they go as they come, right? They are released on the development branch. So if you want to test that, if you want to help us on that, please be welcome for that. Okay. So thank you, Skelly.
Sure.
And next we're going to have Mr. Flores.
Hello, I'm
Hello.
Florence.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
and I recently joined Rocket.Chat like this weekend, the second month for now. I've been quite some time in the community, and yeah, I'm really glad to be now part of the team. And I want to highlight a new idea that Duda and me are going to hand over and create for you, which is called the Rocket Lab. And in the Rocket Lab, it could be like, hey, you installed Rocket Chat. What now? It could be a collaboration between certain open source and Rocket Chat. So how they play well together. It could be something around community prosperity, and so forth. And we're going to make a Rocket Lab every other week. So now you're in the community call. So next week on the YouTube, you'll find an episode of Rocket Lab.
Yeah. So the idea is that whenever we see some videos like how to deploy Rocket Chat, okay, and then it ends on deployment. So the idea is to have that little piece after that's going to have like, oh, how you can do some integrations, how you can do like botfraz or razabot or any other kind of integration, how you can install an app, how you can develop an app. So all those kind of things we're going to address that. Sometimes like digging the hands, right? Like uh, with the dirty hands, and sometimes we just talk about the concepts and everything. So the idea is to have this kind of content is going to be very fun, and we hope you can join us there. Okay, so
And not all of
thank you,
them.
Floris.
I want one more thing. Not all of them
Yeah,
will be
sure.
in-depth technologically deep dives. So there will
Yeah,
also be episodes who are more like around community and collaboration, interaction, and so forth.
yeah. So if you have any topics that you want to see on the Rocket Lab, so please feel free to suggest us, and we really appreciate it. Okay. That's it. So for now, our main topic for today, we are going to have our front-end team in the fuselage, Mr. Martin Scholler and Hugo Costa. Okay, Hugo Costa now. Hello, Hugo. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Everything
Hello.
fine with you
So we are
guys?
also going to have
Hello.
Guilherme Gazo and Martin Scholler. Let me see if they. Okay,
Hello.
there we go. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing?
Fine. Thanks for asking.
Okay. Yeah, the floor is yours, please.
Okay, so I think that I will start. Okay, let me share my screen here. Mhm. Okay, can you guys see my screen and hear me well?
Perfectly.
Okay, perfect. So as some of you guys already spoiled, I'm gonna present something related to the message components. Okay, so we did a rewrite regarding the parser and the components to display the messages, all type of messages. Okay, so current right now in the major 4, we are still using the current message parser that, as I will show to you guys, uses regex rules, is regular HTML tags, and is using directing into blades template. Okay, but because of that, we identified that this strategy uh, didn't have the best performance. Okay, and everything was parsed on the client side. So we were investigating a new way to improve this. Okay, so our team come up with the new message parser that use something called peg. Okay, but this message parser will be the default one just in the major 5. Sorry, but you would ask me, and if I want to test this in the current major, the major 4, how can I do this? So we have an option there. It's still in beta, okay, for dimension 4, but you can enable this new message parser template in the preferences and go here and activate this flag, enable new message template. Okay, doing so, we will be switched to the new message parser instead of the old one. Okay, so in the major 5, this will be the default message parser. Okay, so I'm gonna explain a little bit on why we did this switch to the new message parser and some things that's improved because of that. Okay, well, as I said, this message parser we started doing with a parsing expression grammar called PEG. Okay, the PEG library and the PEG technology is used to even write some programming language. So it's very extensible, it's very dynamic language to create a grammar. Okay, and as our messages that we need to do insert headings, list, order list, links, and so on, it's a grammar as well. So we are using this technology here to create our grammar, but just to create the grammar. So the PEG.js is just handle grammar. And now this grammar, on my point of view, is easier to understand because it's easier than regex, right? Because regex, we have a lot of tokens that's very difficult to know what they are doing. Okay. Okay. So another thing that's good that we are component driven now. So as I mentioned, the PEG only handles grammar. Now, this grammar will retrieve tokens, objects to the front end, and the front end will send those tokens, that is the same as properties, to the components, and the components will decide how they want to render the message. Okay, and of course we notice a big improvement on performance. Okay, because the tokens are generated on server side, and because of that, the front end just render the message in the way they want. So we identify a better performance on that. Just to show a little bit, as I mentioned, we are component driven. So for each type of message, for example, image, mention, links, and so on, we have one component. Okay. I also want to show you the token structure that I mentioned. We are retrieving something like that, as you can see. So this object here is sent to the component in the front end, and the component consumes this data to display as they want. Okay, so this changed a little bit on how to contribute to this new message parser. Before, the message parser was inside the monorepo, okay, the Rocket.Chat repository. Now we pass them to the Rocket.Chat Fuselage repository, just the grammar, okay, and some components as well. But if you want to contribute, you can go to the Fuselage component and check out the Rocket.Chat message parser package. There you will see some files regarding the PEG.js, the grammar. You can explore something there, and you can open issues and pull requests to help us. Okay, so that's it. Thank you, everyone.
And Jen, just to add there, like I think, thank you, Hugo, but just a brief recap about this. We are struggling to give maintenance on the previous implementation, right? I think Martin can correct me if I'm wrong, but every time when we need to change something or add a capability was very painful because the way that we decide to make the parser, and now using a proper grammar, it is much easier to extend or make some recursive if we want to add some like bold inside some link or whatever. Like the combinations is much more expressive. Like we have this power right now to do these things. About the comment that Laurie sent, it is not totally wrong. Like now we parse the message on the server, but we've been doing this for a long time to extract links and other stuff, and now we are just like using the same function to do both, right, on the front and the back end. So even the results are the same. Before we could like extract a link from some place that should be invalid or not, and now at least we're using the same function to extract the values from both sides. It's not required like run on the server, right? If we are prepared to run just only on front end if we decide to, but nowadays even to send to filter or extract only the plain text instead of the tokens, if you want to send a notification, for example, is useful because the server knows what should be ignored by the well, what is not human readable, right? Like the tokens for bold or code blocks or whatever. But yeah, thank you, Hugo, again for the explanation.
Okay, so well, I guess now it's my turn to do a little presentation. I'm sharing my screen.
So just going to add a comment that from a user point of view, the message parser is so important, right? Every single message goes through the message parser. So when there is a bug associated with it, and we had lots of them in the past, it's very painful to deal with. And I think this refactoring, as Gasso said, would basically give us some maintainable code moving forward. So there'll be a lot more robust and stable moving forward from here.
And this brings us like capability to take some decisions and move some patterns or introduce new patterns, right? If we are tied to a library, it's fine because it's working and it is well tested because the library has been tested for other developers. But as soon as we need to change or add something, this role sometimes falls apart. So this is something interesting, right? We can now decide which other capabilities we can add.
Okay, so I'll get started. Today I'll be it's not an in-depth guide or anything, it's more of an introduction to what is actually UIKit and how we are using it today. Because it's something that not everyone understands it and knows what exactly it does. We talk a lot about it, but not everyone is aware. So let's get started. First, before we try to understand UIKit, we need to understand what is Fuselage. Fuselage is a collection of React components that we created for to be used on Rocket.Chat. There we have almost all of the generic components that we use in a lot of places, like buttons and like most of the components that you see, message boxes, avatars, and a lot of stuff. It's in Fuselage because that allows us to reutilize those components without having to worry about the general differences between them. Like we maintain, I forgot the word about, but we ensure that all the components will work the same and we don't have to be changing everywhere. And like, hey, I changed a color on a button, I have to go through all the buttons. Now we have everything in one place. And the relationship that UIKit has with the Fuselage is that we kind of expose those components and created a system that allows for better implementation on external integrations. In a way, I'll explain a little bit further on the presentation. But it's basically what we did is we created a box of Legos, but instead of Legos, you have Rocket.Chat components that you can use for like various different ways. The main difference between the UIKit and the Fuselage is that the UIKit is way more rigid. You cannot it's not a React component that you can pass props and do whatever you want with it. You can use them in a set of different ways. But it's just, I really like the comparison to Legos because like while you cannot customize too much of a single block, you can create great things with a lot of them. And the places we are using the UIKit, currently we use on the mobile client, the core client, the big, the one that you see on the desktop, and on our live chat client. And to work on those, the parts of those clients that we use, we call them surfaces. It's basically the places that you can use those blocks. Currently, we can use them on messages, on the contents of models. Some contextual bars, you can use them. You can create some custom message actions with them, and you can add banners to the whole view of the server that you're seeing. And I wanted to give a good example of how it works is a little bot that we have internally that we use to praising and doing lots of culture things like, hey, someone did a good job and you want to praise them, you use Coco. And here is a perfect example of the UI kit being used by an app, because Coco is an app. And the magic thing about the UI kit is that you do not need to write any front-end code at all. You don't need to mess with React. You don't need to, all of these things you can just ask for the UI kit. Like UI kit has some functions that do some stuff for you. One example is the input block. Like here I wanted to add the input that for you to select the user. So you just ask for a block and ask for the input to be added there. So it's really a matter of sending a payload to UIKit and getting the components that you need. So it's very easy to use, and it's something that you can, like, you don't even need to worry too much about the front end part, because as long as we ensure that UIKit is working, you never have to kind of debug any component or anything on the front end. And the other interesting part of the UI kit is the way he handles the actions, because for you to display a UI, you need an action usually. For example, to call up a Coco, like I want to praise someone, I'll do a / command asking for Coco, and then an action will be sent to the server with the app ID that I want the UI kit to use. The server will process things. We'll ask the UI kit what it wants, like what blocks it wants, what is the structure. It will send the payload, and then the Coco will display what you need. And then if you submit, there's a new action happens, and all this process happens again. So it's really a flow of actions that we use with the apps to use them. And yeah, here's a second step of the action happening. After you submit, you have a thank you page with the button and everything. And here's a snippet of code of this UI, like asking, as you see, there's no React, not anything, just a payload. And this is really good for the apps team. Like it's like Aaron is saying, it's really easy to extend. And just a little note, something that we are working on the Google Summer of Code this year with Vivek. He will create a playground for you to play around with all the blocks of the UI kit, so you can preview what you are creating and then create the snippet of code that you need to send to UI kit. So it will be even easier to create the components that you need. And yeah, we're really looking forward to this one. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry for being kind of rushed because I didn't want to take too much time.
Oh, that's very good.
That's
Yeah.
great.
So anybody wants to add something?
Quick question, actually, I for Martin. One is the snippet of code that you show. Is there some way for our community member to actually go and find it on GitHub? That's question number one. Question number two, and are we receptive as a team to accept new components contribution to UIKit?
You mean the snippets on the playground or the ones I shown here?
Talk, like the Coco stuff.
Yeah, the Coco, I think we do have a repository. I can find it while the rest of the meeting is going on.
Yeah,
okay,
I just shared on the chat. Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, all the code is available there for anyone to see.
We have a bunch of apps that we use for integrations that are public, not exposed like easily but we can show and send after, right? And this is and as you the second question that you made, thinking about the creating new blocks and components, we are very strict, or we tend to not accept any kind of, because people try to for any reason insert a new variation or new stuff, and this components need to be very, very well planned before insert, and requires development in both platforms, like mobile and web as together, right? We have all this protocol and all this, but still we need to implement on each client that wants to support the new version of the UIKit. So we try to use and create the applications based on this protocol. But sure, if we understand that we are missing some important block or important component, we are always open to receive. But I think it requires like a RFD or some discussion why we need this before the current implementation. I think if some community member wants to help us, we should start with the discussion itself instead of the development, right? To save some time and prevent like some wasting the code and solution.
Thanks. That's great.
Yeah, and also because probably if you develop a UI kit and make it available, it needs to be very consistent, because it's going to be used in other places, and once it's out there, it's very difficult to change the APIs and everything, right?
Yeah, we try to not break this. We keep them compatibility. So this is we need to really pay attention when we are introducing something new. And we had, even here inside Rocket Chat, people wants to, wow, I want to put this icon on the left or on the side. Then why? Oh, just because I want. No, so just follow the rules and follow the previous protocol, because it makes no sense. It's just a matter of well, we just want to do different. So try to.
Just to add one thing, it's not as a simple as a process. It's a bit of a laborious process, because each of the clients has not its own interpretation, but it has to understand what the UIKit is talking to it. So like you have to change the things in UIKit, and the 3 clients that have today that accept it. So it's a big chunk of work that really, as Gaza said, really needs to be well discussed before we start tackling anything. But it's possible. It's good enough.
Yeah, so everyone that wants to collaborate, please, so you can make contact with us, and feel free to send issues, to send code and PRs, and then discuss that very well. And I think that's
I would call as a proposal, right? Because we can involve even the designers to make the components for both platforms, and then now Martin is about to release this platform, this playgrounds. We can put the proposal inside the playground before get merged, so we can even show how it would supposed to be working on the playground. So yeah, please post and send us your ideas.
That's very good. Any other questions from our audience or someone? Or are we good? Okay. So thank you for this awesome presentation, and congratulations, and well done. And we are eager to see what's coming next for the UI kit, and also for the GSOC collaboration. And thank you again. Okay. So next, Rodrigo wants to. Do you want to come? Okay, let's just remove our bye our front end team. Bye guys. Rodrigo, do you want to come to the stage? I think we have some question here from Laurie. Hello, Rodrigo. How are you?
Hey, folks. Pretty good, thank you.
Great. So we have a question here from Laurie. If we have a plan about security tests and audits and pen tests, and about public reporting. So do you want to answer that?
Yeah. No, by the way, great presentation from Martin, Hugo, and Guilherme. It's great to see that. About this security, I just want to add some information that by default we do not disclosure our pen tests, auditors, rather than certifications from the auditors, because it may disclosure some flaws and security issues that may affect our clients. So by default, we get those information, work on the fixes, and then disclosure the CVEs that Floris shared already. This as I answer the CVE link and our handbook for the processes, but usually do not disclosure the details of the full pen test or audit that we did. Because it may help others to figure out parts that they don't need to test because we were tested to find out issues, or of course may disclosure issues by itself. But I would try to bring that. I would bring that to our security team and see how we can bring more information to you. So that link you already have for our security operations is there. We probably may get more information there as well. And we always disclosure our CVEs with details after a period of time, of course, after we release the security patches for everyone to be able to update. And after a period of time, we disclosure all the CVEs so you understand what happened. But that's a grace period for our users to update and prevent them to be affected by that vulnerabilities. But that's a great suggestion. You see how we can improve that even further. So if you have suggestions, please send us as well, as we could improve this. Not, of course, disclosuring information that may help attackers to, use those breaches.
Yeah,
that's
good. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rodrigo. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to send here to us. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. So now we are going to have our community member of the month. And who is that? Let's see here. Let's invite him here to participate. It's always a mystery. He's getting ready here. So he has been the top of our Google Summer of Code contribution leaderboard. He's a very, very nice guy. He's a very talkative, a little bit self-conscious, a little bit not talkative, but he's very, very nice. I think he's probably having some problem on the invitation here. So you probably need to. There's a. Oh. Okay, should we go with? Okay, there you go. Hello, Sidharth. How are you for today?
Hello, I'm great.
Awesome.
Probably you know Gabriel already, right?
This is my first time, turning on my video and interacting in Livestorm, so it took a while. Sorry.
Don't worry, this is a friend call, so a friend and friendly call. So as we talked, so don't worry, we are just friends here. So you probably know Gabriel already, right?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
How are you?
So you probably Singly too, right?
Yeah, Singly is my mentor for lifetime.
Yeah, that's very good. So thank you for all your collaboration. You have been a very great community member, helping all around, and it's very good to see that you're not only learning, but all the time you have, all the possibilities, everybody that comes to starting on contribution, you are there helping and try to help whenever possible. So thank you for that, and also thank you for the contributions. And I think you are on the Google Summer of Code, right?
Yeah, my project is embedded chat.
Yeah, that's the in-app chat and embedded chat. Yeah, that's very important. That's very good. And how you first heard about Rocket.Chat? How was whenever you discovered and said,
yeah, so
this is a nice project.
So I heard about Rocket.Chat when I was browsing through the previous year selected GSOC organizations, and I selected 3 organizations which I wanted to contribute to. They had the similar tech interests as I had at that time. So when I first entered into Rocket.Chat, and I remember it was in GSOC 2021 channel. I introduced myself, and Singli sir raised a warm welcome to me, and Devdutt sir also, he sent an email to join that channel. So it was a great journey from that point on. Yeah.
Yeah, and this I always am very happy to see that happen. And as I talked with Singly once, he said that he also was welcomed like that. So I think this is like a something that it began on the beginning, right? So and from here probably, so probably as Singly told me, this was the way of Rocket Chat welcoming newcomers. So I think that's very interesting because uh, same for Aaron. Aaron is saying here also he's the
It's a
beginning of the
passive
time.
forward. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
passive forward sort of thing. If we welcome someone nicely, they're gonna want to welcome the next person nicely, and I think that's how we've been doing since the beginning of Rocket Chat. Always, if you feel welcome, be nice to the others and welcome them well as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good, and it's working, right? So you
Yeah.
have a
Working.
community growing, and a lot of good people, and that's the good part. The good people stay around, and they want to build it up. That's very nice. And what do you think that as Rocket Chat, as a community, as a company, as a product, what do you think that we can do better? Where do you see that there's room for improvement, and what we can do to improve that? Some hard
I'm
questions.
I can say that I think it's perfect. It's more than perfect for an open source company and community to uh, behave in such a manner and be open to all the enthusiastic open source newcomers and help them to grow in that process also. But I think one thing that I want to just highlight, like we can address issues more faster than we are addressing right now. I know like open source is really time taking, and everyone time is really important, but uh, there are newcomers like they want to like dive right in, and they're like, oh, they're mad why my PR is not being reviewed for like so many days. That's one.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
we are working on that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah.
We are trying to improve that and have the PRs, to be merged
Yeah.
more frequently and more recently. So yeah, and also, what's the aha moment that you saw that we're using Rocket Chat and said, "Wow, this is nice. This is a new nice feature. This is something that caught your attention." What you can say that is like
I mean,
for me, for example, for me is the webhooks integration. I was like, wow, this is very strong, this is very powerful, because you can not only receive the message, and you can have a JavaScript there and tweak the payloads and do a lot of good stuff. So what was what do you think was the nicest, the best feature that you saw there?
I mean, Rocket.Chat is full of features, so it's full feature packed. So, and it has like many facets to it. So the admin sector section is already filled with so many new features, and you can just about do anything. Like it's fully customizable. So that's the one thing I really like about Rocket.Chat. Yeah.
That's very good. That's very good. Well,
That
any
was the
questions
idea.
here? Yeah. 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 Any questions, Singly or Gabriel? Well,
What's
okay.
your
So
favorite
thank
color?
you
Questions to
yeah
us or questions from us? Sorry, I didn't
for
get it.
to Sidharth, to Sidharth,
Ah,
or Sidharth, if you want to
um,
ask something.
if you could change just one thing in Rocket Chat, what would you change?
That's a hard one,
Really,
right?
yeah, really hard one. Mm, I don't think anything needs to be changed. Yeah.
Oh, you're too nice.
No, actually,
I can think many things that I like to make better. Come on.
when I started making some applications, like scalability was the topic that I was most interested in, and I had asked Singli sir about that many times. How do we scale? Like how Rocket.Chat scales itself so great. It's one of the major thing Rocket.Chat handles excellently. Like, there are so many ordinals.
We are gonna make it a lot better to scale very soon. Like the whole microservices and the architectures, those things are gonna make even better. So
Looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, thank you once more. You were for this the community member of the month, and also to be on the top leadery, on the leaderboard, and also to be a good fellow, a good friend, and a good participant in our community. Thank you once more.
Thank
We
you.
really
Exactly.
appreciate it.
I have a question on behalf of Sidharth, actually. Does he get any swags for being community member of the month?
Yes, he does. We did have a we're going to send him some swags, and also for the other participants we had the problem for sending the swags, but now it's all set. So don't worry, your swags is coming. I would just have to take your size number and the address, and then we'll ship that for you. Don't worry. Okay. And thank you, congratulations also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Congratulations. Thanks for being a Rocketeer.
Bye bye. Okay, so now for closing, we are almost coming to an end. We are going to have Mr. Singly, our own and loved
Yeah.
Singly.
Just some update on Google Summer Code. All the mentors are now of the selected project are now working with the contributor who's been selected on the project themselves. One of the more exciting aspects this year is that most of those projects are actually under Rocket.Chat's repo. So for any community member who wants to see what's going on, you will actually find new repository associated with each and every one of those projects as it is ongoing, which also I think most projects will be trying to make it contributable as early as possible in the cycle. So you may actually be able to contribute code to the project as GSOC is going on at the same time. And I think it will lead to basically a much larger footprint of innovation around the GSOC program. And you'll be surprised if you actually go down the list to see some of the projects that are listed. So definitely, if you are coding at all, please come and check out all the new repositories that all our contributors are working on. Second thing is that we will also have a demo day. I think this may be new to some of the contributors. We're trying to organize an official demo day where closer to the end of the GSOC term, we'll have each and every one of the contributor and the mentor present the project in a virtual conference format. So stay tuned for more detail. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's very nice. So everybody's going to be able to contribute with the project, right? That's very good. That's very good. So if you have, we have a list on Google Summer of Code project itself, and also on our documentation with all the projects. So feel free to go. We have on our open server, we have a channel that you can go there and have one channel for each project. So also feel free to help us there, to hang around, to maybe if you want to be a contributor for the next edition, for the next year, so you can talk about with everybody. We have on our YouTube channel the alumni summit that we did this year with a lot of good former contributors. So it's nice. So if you're interested not only to just help, but if you plan on contributing on the future, so it's a nice source of information for you. And yeah, so yeah, I think we can close our call for today. And the next call we're going to have on the July session is the 20th. So stay tuned. We're going to send an email for everybody that's participating here. And also we're going to send a message with the link for the YouTube. So please share with your friends, share with your peers, and don't forget to subscribe and like. And it was a pleasure to be here with you. And any other closing notes, everybody? Anyone wants to have? We still have some minutes, but if you have any questions, okay. So that's the next community open call. So please subscribe. You can already subscribe there to receive the message and everything. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for being with us until now, and thank you, and see you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you, everybody. See you soon. Take care. Have a good rest of the